Hey guys, Maddie from Blue versus Orange, and today I want to talk to you about a really fun deck. Me and my brother got to play this weekend at a local tournament. We picked up the Blaster versus Soundwave from SDCC, and it was a lot of fun. We played it out of the box right away, and it was decent, but we definitely tweaked it. I mean, it's a lot more fun when you tweak the things how you want to play them. But let's talk about the characters real quick. So that we've got Blaster. We've got his three cassettes. We've got Eject, Ramhorn, Steeljaw. And you know what? First off, the artwork. I absolutely love the G1 artwork. I think it's really cool. So, but let's go into just real quick how the characters interact and then what I ended up playing. So, we've got Blaster. And with Blaster, when you flip to his bot mode, deploy a mini cassette from under this to the battlefield in bot mode. When you do, you must play the top card of your deck. So, that is something you have to keep in mind because you may draw something that you don't want to play. Like, for instance, maybe you've got like a one shell stand in your deck and Blaster's almost dead, and for some reason you flip them, one shell stand. It could be just a bad scenario. So you want to keep that in mind that when you flip Blaster, you are going to play the top card of your deck. It's not a may. It is you are going to do it. So going down with cassettes, we've got Eject. When he defends, enemies can't use bold this turn. It's kind of fun. Don't really know much more about that other than it is what it is. Ramhorn. When this defends, you may play a white pip armor. So you've got force fields, you've got defensive driving. Obviously, we're going to run the force fields. We're going to run 3 of them because aggro deck plus Ramhorn lets us play it. And the best part is it doesn't say you may play an armor on Ramhorn. So when he defends, you've got a force field. You could throw it on Blaster. You could throw it on a different cassette. I think it's a great ability to really give you some utilitarian with how you want to play out your deck. And then also Steeljaw. He gets a bold 1. And also something not to forget is he also gives each of your characters that has 10 or more stars bold 1. So you got Blaster, you got Steeljaw. Blaster goes into swinging. He's going to get bold 1 right away from Steeljaw. It's something to... I actually forgot to do that over the tournament, but you know what? It's something you don't want to forget to do, so keep that in mind. And then I never flipped my cassettes, but when you do flip cassettes, you actually can get some other perks and bonuses. Steeljaw, when you flip them, he has stealth, and then each of your characters gets bold 1 till end of turn. Ramhorn, you flip them, stealth. When you flip to this mode, you may move an armor from one of your characters to another one. Could be a little fun shenanigan stuff. And then Eject, stealth. When you flip to this mode, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You may scrap them. So, that's the Blaster starting lineup out of the box. And what I actually ended up doing was not playing Eject, but instead playing Blaster, Ramhorn, Steeljaw, Lionizer, because that's what all the cool kids do. Plus, I made the deck just go super bold. Just made it more fun. So, and then you could do like, other different characters. You can maybe try RC instead of Lionizer. You can play the 3 cassettes, which if you do, then you can actually play 3 star cards. Because Blaster in alt mode, your starting star limit increases by 1 for each mini cassette on your starting team. So Blaster is 10 stars. Ramhorn is 5 stars. Steeljaw is 5 stars. Lionizer is 7. So you add them up, we're at 27. Doesn't fly, except for each mini cassette, basically you can minus 1 star from your starting team, so then this makes it a 25-star team. Okay. So, that's how it's able to play with this. So, that is the starting team. Like I say, I was going heavy bold with this particular setup. Definitely orange heavy aggro. You could play other fire. You could try Fire Drive instead of Lionizer, so in case you're going up against like a W5 or something, or Dampening Field, you want to be aggro but not specifically bold. You can kind of swap it out if you wanted to, or just do something completely different for your side deck, which I'll go over in a minute. So after that, I'll go through how I did my turns and how I thought the deck worked really well for me, because for some that don't know, I'm not a super competitive person. I play more for the fun aspect. I play more for the Transformer genre, nostalgic aspect, and I'm more of a collector. Whereas my brother Christian, he's really big into the competitive side, and he can get right in there. And I'll try to be competitive, but after 2 or 3 games, I'm kind of burnt out on it, and it's just, you know, not my thing to be super competitive. But it's a blast. I love the game. You know, it's super fun, and you get to meet really cool people. So anyway, so how this worked for me was you'd start with Blaster, you'd start with Lionizer. Ideally, I'm not sure if you want to go first or second. Probably first. Actually, yeah, you'd want to go first just so that you can right away have Lionizer attack, so then they don't go into Blaster. So, but you want to make sure whatever you do, the first thing you do before you attack, draw your 1 card, flip Blaster. Right out of the gate. Don't even, it should be just memory to just flip Blaster. And then right away, I bring out Steeljaw, and he would come out in his bot mode. And then, remember, when Blaster flips, you got to play the top card of your deck. So hopefully it's something good. You might draw something like, Improvised Shield that's meh, not great. But we'll have ways to get rid of that out of our hand and stuff. You might pull something really good, The majority of these cards we're going to play for their abilities instead of their pips and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. Flip Blaster, bring out Steeljaw, play the top card of my deck, and then I come in, attack with Lionizer. So the next turn your opponent's going to come in, they're going to attack Lionizer. So it works. You want him dead, that's all they can attack. So pretty much everyone's got that down. Second turn, we're going to flip Blaster again so he's in his alt mode. And when he's in his alt mode, he doesn't do anything. He's a boombox, so he's just there. It looks kind of cool, whatnot. And then after that, we are going to attack with Steeljaw. So if you've got some actions, you've got some upgrades, something gives them bolds, you want to go in, it's going to be attack heavy. So we've got some Erratic Lightnings, Reckless Charge. Your basic orange aggro is going to go into this. So you want to go in, you want to attack, and also Steeljaw does have bold 1 on himself as well. So don't forget that either. So you're going to draw minimum 3 cards. More than likely you're going to do 3 damage plus you're going to draw 3 plus 3, so you're going to do 6 damage. This is a pretty good hit. And honestly, when I was playing at the tournament, I never got less than a 9-hit swing with Steeljaw, which was so much fun to see a 5-star card do that. I know other 5 stars kind of do that. Like you can get RC up there, but it was just easy. It flowed. It went really well. So anyway, so that's turn 2. Then your opponent would go. More than likely, they won't go into Ionizer because, who would? They'll probably go into Steeljaw. And with his 9 health, 1 defense, more than likely he's going to survive unless he goes up against Battlefield Legend or someone that's just going to swing hard and heavy right away. But more than likely, they probably won't because they'll probably save a big swing for Blaster. So you've got at least 1 turn to really work with them, which is fine. It's great. It works really well. All right, so turn 3, what we're going to do, we're going to draw our card. We're going to flip Blaster, which means Ramhorn is now going to come out, and he comes out in his bot mode. And this is great because now you can attack with Ramhorn, still saving your Blaster, still being able to suit up, if you want to. Saving cards for some, cool shenanigans. So you're not like knowing that next turn I've got to hit with Blaster, or your opponent's like, well, how many cassettes is he running? It's a lot of fun. It's interesting to always start with like 2 wide, then 3 wide, then 4 wide, and really change like the momentum of the game. I really finally took that to heart this weekend, which was to me a big door opening because I kind of knew about it, but now that I was able to see it, it really helped. So anyway, we'll flip Blaster, we'll bring out Ramhorn. We'll play the top card of our deck, because remember, Blaster, we have to play the top card no matter what. So, by this time, hopefully we've maybe fished out a force field. If we have, and we have it in our hand, usually I'll hold on to it, and I'll do like some type of an attack with Ramhorn, I might give him Reckless Charge, Supercharged, Flamethrower, something big, because he's still got 3 attack, and we're going to flip 2 cards plus, we might get a white pip, or it depends what we play. So then that's where we're at. So now we've got Ramhorn that comes in, he attacks, and your opponent might you know, this is where it starts to be like, you know, assuming Lionizer's still alive because of Steeljaw, got the last attack. They probably won't go into Lionizer. They might go into Steeljaw. They might go into Ramhorn. Hopefully, if they go into Ramhorn and you have your force field in your hand, once Ramhorn defends, because usually you might not want to play an armor on Ramhorn to kind of get that, to lure your opponent to, hey, I'm going to attack this guy. There's no armor. He's only got 1 defense. You slap down your force field when he defends. Can't get any more than 4, so he's going to survive at least, you know, 1 turn. And then after that, then you've got Blaster, who's ready. He's done all of his flipping. Doesn't need to flip anymore. All of his cassettes are gone. So he's at attack 5. Steeljaw's going to give him the bold 1. You've probably got stuff that maybe you're going to kill Lionizer. You know, if you've got a piece through Tyranny early, you know, you can throw the sword on him and stuff like that. And then he's got, you know, bold 4, plan 1. Plus Steeljaw will give him an extra bold. So it'd be bold 5, plan 1, plus whatever other card you have. Blaster swings hard when you get to this point. And the good thing is, the majority of the time he's still alive. Even if you go second in the beginning of the game and Blaster takes a big hit, he's still going to be surviving to get a big hit back. And usually by this time, you've got free reign on whoever you want to hit. And actually, surprisingly, the deck did really well against like 2-wide and 3-wide prime. I did a lot of misplays at the time because, like I say, I wasn't real competitive. I didn't play against a lot of other decks. So this was a big deck where I'm like, wow, this was really good, and almost won a round, but actually misplayed big time. Forgot I even had an extra cassette on him and lost, but that's here nor there. Like I say, it was a lot of fun. Totally dig it. So that's how I would play Blaster, and then let's kind of go into the cards as to how I built the deck and why I built the deck the way I did. So right off the bat, we'll just talk about upgrades, and of course we're going to talk about weapons, and we're going to do 3 grenade launchers because strictly aggro, best card in the deck really for orange attack. I mean, you know the drill. We're going to do 2 Erratic Lightnings. It's a great card. You know, I don't worry about the defense because you're going to be hitting people, and more of the time they're going to be surviving at least 1 full round with everybody. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I do run 1 Power Punch as of right now, just if I wanted to get an extra bold 3 on somebody. It was fun. You know, obviously you don't have to play it that way. You don't have to. I did run 1 Enforcement Batons, just to scrap an enemy weapon. You know, if someone's got Energon Axe, or I played, you know, with the primes, I was able to take off, you know, Ion Blaster Prime. It's a staple card, really. You know, everyone's going to be playing it. So then we went to armors. After that, what we did was, obviously, we're playing Improvised Shield for the double pip. That's the only reason to play it. But, you know, we're going to run 4 green cards, so we could ditch Improvised Shield. We're also going to have Lionizer to plan 1, so if we do draw it, it's not a total waste. We're going to plan this and get a big hit on it. So we'll also do Scrapper Gauntlets, which it's still getting rid of an enemy weapon, a little bit of disruption for hits. It gives us a +1 defense, which it's okay. You know, obviously we're not playing for defense, but it is help to be an orange pip +1 defense, and hey, we're going to get rid of an enemy weapon. And, you know, if we can't, we can draw a card. So it's a great card. I'm really glad to come back to it. And then we're going to have Bashing Shield. Pretty much a staple card. Put on a character, scrap an enemy armor. We're going to get rid of force fields. You know, maybe some of the blue specialty armors, stuff like that. It's just, more or less, it's the orange pip we want in the deck. It's a green to flush out Improvised Shield, and it's all around, it's an amazing card. I mean, everyone should be running it if you're running orange. Next, a key card in this was actually Force Field. You know, your white pip, obviously, you get to draw an extra one. But with Ramhorn's ability, we could lay it down when we're defending, so we can get a free play of an upgrade. We can know for a fact that Ramhorn won't die. And even in fact, we could, with Ramhorn's ability, we don't have to play the force field on Ramhorn. As long as Ramhorn's defending, we can play a white pip armor, and we could put that on somebody else. But more than likely, you'll probably put it on Ramhorn. And then I've got 1 utility, which it's Inner Groove. It's just a +1/+1 for mini cassette. Basically, I left it in there just to kind of see how it played with the mini cassettes. Not by any means a die-hard sold on it by anything. You know, there's probably way other better utilities that you could play. Um, Something I'll probably look at would be like Debilitating Crystal, just to bounce off some, you know, upgrades. If I actually ran into Optimus Prime that ran a backup bag, and it would have been great just to bounce that off. You know, kind of, it's just weird. But yeah, just a basic +1/+1. Played it a couple times. It was okay, but definitely one of those cards that if you want to take out, totally can. All right, so now we're going to be talking about our actions. And right off the bat, because we're playing Lionizer and aggro, Peace Through Tyranny, don't really have to explain this card. If you can do it to get your Lionizer dead, you're ahead of the game. So we all know that one. And then kind of sticking with the whole Lionizer Battlemaster, we're going to play 2 Quartermasters just for the fact that obviously it's a white pip card. And everyone kind of thinks with Quartermaster, hey, I'm going to get my, you know, Fire Saber back from the dead in order to play it again. But I think a lot of people don't remember that you can also use Quartermaster to move an upgrade from one to another. So you can come in and with, let's say you attacked with Blaster, you know, like 4 turns in, and you've got Steeljaw that's still untapped. You know, you can have Quartermaster bring over the Steel Saber from Blaster to Steeljaw if you wanted, you know, to get another big attack in. So, and that's something I totally missed too. I had a Quartermaster, I was waiting for Lionizer to die, and then at the end of the game, like, oh, I could have totally just moved it over and done another big swing, but it's all part of learning. Then after that, we are actually going to play 3 copies of Supercharge. I played this quite a bit. It was enough to get, you know, Bolt 3, threw it on Steeljaw, had Bolt 4, or if I have it on Blaster with Lionizer, Bolt 7, Plan 1. It was big swings with Blaster. It was fun. We're also going to do ramming speed. We're going to get rid of a lot of upgrades. You know, we don't want to see force fields. We don't want to see armor. We don't want to see anything that'll get in our way, especially W5. Ramming speed will get rid of that utility, aside from running, you know, crushing size if you wanted to run that instead of the micro cassette utility and stuff. So that was a key card as well, and especially was fun when you flip Blaster and when you had to play the top card of your deck, you pull a ramming speed, you play it to get something else off of your opponent. It was a lot of fun. We are also going to do 2 work overtimes. I only saw the card pop in my hand once. When it did, I only had 2 cards. It worked out well. One of those cards, I guess a squishy card, you could, if you wanted to take it out for something else, you totally can. It was just something I threw in there to kind of see how it would play out for the weekend, and it did a pretty good job for what I needed it, so it was nice. I'm also going to do 2 Reckless Charges because it's Reckless Charge. I'm going to do a big swing. It's only going to do 3 damage to one of my characters. I know they're not in it for the long haul. It's almost like you have to have the mentality for playing bugs. These are going to die quick, so you might as well just go in swinging. So next, let's do we did 1 Press the Advantage. The majority of my stuff was up against Autobots, but it was still nice to get a +2. Also play it for the green pip to flush out cards from my hand. So a +2 I could flush out. Excellent. You can't go wrong. Another card that I'm not really sold on, Scavange the Battlefield. I played Bolster, and I didn't really use Bolster because of Ramhorn's ability. So then I was doing Scavange the Battlefield. When one of your characters is KO'd, instead of scrapping the character's upgrades, you may put a number of them on your other characters. You know, it's a clutch card that the timing's so, you know, more than likely you'll probably never get it off. But if you do get it off, it could be the difference between winning and losing. So it's in there. I'm not sold on it, but, you know, we'll try it out. Now, the last cards are definitely Blaster and mini cassette specific, and we'll go over those here. They are Daring Counterattack. I mean, what this is choose one of your characters. It gets +1 until end of turn for each Autobot mini cassette in your KO area. So I'm not really banking on it for the +1 bonus with KO characters, but if I have Blaster on the battlefield, which he's usually the last one to survive anyway, the chosen character also gets +6 until end of turn. This is huge, just because we see a lot of Pierce 2 and Pierce 3s and stuff like that, but one card that gives you Pierce 6, especially going against a blue deck, is amazing. It just, you get a big hit into that, and for that, just for that reason, I run 3 of these. You know, it's a great card. The other interesting card, and the only 2 blue cards I run, is Recover Cassette. And this is also a mini cassette specific card. And what this does is if you have Blaster or Soundwave on the battlefield, you may put one of your mini cassettes from the battlefield under it. If you do, repair 2 damage from one of your characters, then put this card in your KO area. So let's say I've got Ramhorn, he's got 5 health on it, and Blaster, he's got, 8 health left. I play Recover Cassette, Ramhorn goes underneath Blaster, and Ramhorn's healed completely, and then Blaster, you heal 2 from him. So that part of the card, it's really cool. The other part of the card that it doesn't talk about, but you got to remember, is it changes the dynamic of your team. Meaning you can go from a 3-wide team, now you're down to a 2-wide team. And what I really want to emphasize is you want to play this when Blaster's in his alt mode. So let's say you've got Steeljaw and he's got, 5 health left. Okay. I want to play Recover Cassette to make sure I haven't flipped Blaster this turn. So really what I want to do is play Recover Cassette. Steeljaw would go under Blaster. Steeljaw is healed. Blaster heals 2. This goes into the KO area. I flip Blaster. Steeljaw comes out fully healed. I play a card, and I'm back to the same, 3-wide, 4-wide, 2-wide, whatever I was before that. And I want to bring that up because if you play Recover Cassette at an awkward time, you might miss a flip, or you might change the dynamic so much that you just lose your footing in the game. And this happened to me a couple times till I really figured out the correct timing to play this card. So if let's say I had it in this scenario and Steeljaw, had 5 health, Blaster had, 10 health left or something like that in this scenario. I played Recover Cassette. Steeljaw goes under Blaster. Well, now I've shorted myself a character, and now I still have to flip my turn, and I don't really want to attack with Blaster with a 0. So now I have to wait another turn, which at that point, like I say, it could change the whole dynamic. I may have to come in with Blaster and attack. And then next turn, if I at least have somebody else, I could flip him, Steeljaw comes out, but I've missed big opportunities. So you want to time Recover Cassette usually when Blaster's in his alt mode before you flip him into bot mode. So remember that. It might help you, it might not, but definitely helped me for the timing. So that was the Blaster deck that I started with. When I went to my side deck, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to play it. I thought about playing Eject and playing some of the 1-star cards that came with the Blaster side. And knowing that I live in a real meta-heavy 3-wide Optimus Prime, I actually decided to go with, as a side, I would run Blaster, Lionizer, Prime, no, I'm sorry, it was Prime, Steeljaw, Lionizer was my side. So I would just completely take out Blaster altogether. I would take out the 7 cards that were mini cassette specific, and then I would go in and just change it so it's a 3-wide Optimus that's running Steeljaw, which was fun because also gave Prime Bold 1. So the cards I actually went with too for that: Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime. Obviously, just you might as well run at least one. Steamroll, in case you get on the flip. Could be fun, could not. At least it's some really cool flip abilities. Also do One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall. You run 2 copies of this in the side. Same reason, if I get it on the flip with Prime, it's going to do some more damage. I threw in 2 presses in case I went up against Decepticons, or if I just wanted just some more +2s, especially with the flips. It was a great card. One Power Punch, just to get some more bold out of it. You know, that was one of the things. And then the other one was actually Zap. Now, at first I put in Plasma Burst because if I get the flip, you know, it's 2 damage. That's great. But if I pull Plasma when I'm not attacking with Prime or somebody else, it's a blank pip. It doesn't serve me anything. Whereas if I flip Zap, I still get the 2 damage off with Prime because I get the orange pip and I get 1 damage. So more than likely I'm still going to get the 2 guaranteed damage. Plus, if I'm attacking with someone else other than Prime and I flip Zap, I'm at least getting that orange that I wouldn't have gotten with Plasma Burst. So that is the blaster deck I rolled with. It was a ton of fun. I might change 1 or 2 cards for next turn. I will definitely be playing more with him now that after I made so many misplays, mistakes, but I was able to catch them, and I was also able to start catching other people's mistakes, which was mind-blowing. So to me, this is a great deck. It's my first deck I was able to sit down, be comfortable with, play semi-competitively to where I feel like I can do a better job as before. So anyway, if you have any questions, give me a shout. Be more than happy to talk to other people who play. And then, like always, just have a lot of fun up there. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.